what is this big data AI all about, right? So I would like to invite everybody to look at from the right-hand side first, actionable insights, right? What you want to know. I think that's the starting point of all the big data and AI projects, is what you want to know. For example, as a retailer, you may want to know when and how much of stocks that should I stock up for item A, right? Or in another way to put it is that now I'm running a campaign. For this campaign, who are the segments of customers or which particular customers that I should put this campaign forward so that we can maximize the result? So those are the questions that you have in your mind and you want answer to it. So how can you find the answers? That's through data and that's through AI, right? And then I invite you to switch to the left. The first step is now you have the answers you want to know. And the step one is that where can I find the data to answer that questions? In the old days, which I'll come to that in the second slides, is that, oh, let's find some data internally. So that could be in your systems and so forth. But wait, right now we are all know that data is not just exists internally. There are many forms of data. Even internal data, there could be data that you have not exposed to or not knowing that they are useful. For example, emails, right? We write emails in text, and that's potentially useful to understand your customer behavior. For example, customer support emails, right? So those are the unstructured data within your organizations. And of course, external data, they are both in the form of structured and unstructured. So we first identify the kind of data points from the various sources and various forms, and then we load it into what we call a data store. In the old days, I think we use, or even in the current days, we use Excel, right? That's a good source. But from a big data standpoint, we need more advanced technology, for example, a data lake, or in the slightly older days, we call it a data warehouse. That's to deal with the internal data sources. So good that we have data all put into one place. Now we have, before we can actually answer the questions, we have to process it. So we turn all this raw data into a usable format. For example, I talk about unstructured data in text, right? People writing emails, complaints to you. You have to understand, number one, what is the meaning behind all this, right? Number two, what is the sentiment in the text? And number three, what are the keywords or common community across all these emails, for example, right? So that could be something that you have it in your hand to drive home the message. At last, then you can use that to answer your questions and have actionable insights. I believe some of you who may have seen this similar charts of sorts, right? So I just want to go through this real quick. In the current days, there's a pixel perfect reporting that you can answer things like, what happened? What happened in the past, right? For example, what is my sales last night? That can be answered by any of the data warehouse or traditional BI reporting. Now, the tricky things start to happen when you want to answer why, right? Why does this happen? Why my sales dropped last night? Guess what? I believe the answer is not lies on your internal data sources, right? You can't ask your inventory data or POS data to say, hey, why my sales dropped? The answer potentially lies outside or unstructuredly, right? For example, you may found in your social media or other social media posts that your competitor is actually launching a very hot product, a very popular product, and that may eat into your pie, right? So that you can sort of answer the word why. And next off is to handle the predictive. So what's my sales tomorrow, right? In the old days, I believe that's sales forecasting and so forth. You can answer that with just internal structured data. But with all the data that you can have, we call it alternative data, unstructured data, external data. What big data can offer on top of the AI or predictive analytics you have is the ability to be more accurate. Previously, you may have achieved 40% accuracy, and with big data, you can achieve like 85 and so forth, right? So those are the power lies on big data. And the other thing is actually around new insights, right? You may not be able to answer those questions previously. Right now, with more data, and right now you are be able to answer those questions. And how can we make that happen? And that's about operationalize the insights, which I think I'll talk about it more in the actual presentation itself. Setiawan, do you have any things to add on?
Yeah, so thanks, Shoklin. Hi everyone. So perhaps allow me to paraphrase what's Yoklin's introductions about AI in Bahasa. So I think it's more confident for me and for some of the audience as well. But if you want it to be English, please comment it in the comment box below. So, Bapak Ibu, mungkin kalau Yokling itu background-nya kan memang data scientist gitu ya, jadi memang dia sangat mendalami mengenai apa sih big data dan artificial intelligence. Kalau saya personally itu background-nya bukan di IT, jadi mungkin bahkan setahun yang lalu saya pribadi tidak terlalu mengerti apa itu big data dan AI. Sounds too futuristic for me. Tapi di awal tahun ini, earlier this year, saya menonton satu film dokumentari di Netflix, judulnya The Great Hack. Film itu bercerita tentang company yang bernama Cambridge Analytica. Jadi Cambridge Analytica adalah sebuah big data company yang waktu itu memang memfokuskan untuk membantu para politisi di Western world gitu ya, untuk memenangkan elections. Jadi di tahun 2016, Cambridge Analytica dengan bantuan Facebook itu bekerja membantu salah satu kandidat pemilihan presiden di Amerika Serikat. Nah, kandidat tersebut di awal itu sebetulnya tidak punya peluang untuk menang, ya karena tidak punya pengalaman di dunia politik dan melawan politisi yang sangat populer dan terkenal. Yang dilakukan oleh Cambridge Analytica adalah di Amerika Serikat sendiri total ada 230 million eligible voters, ya, dan impossible untuk bisa menjangkau mereka semua. Itu costly juga, ya. Jadi yang dilakukan oleh Cambridge Analytica dengan bantuan Facebook mengidentifikasi siapa saja yang bisa di-approach. Nah, kebetulan perannya Facebook di sini juga penting pada saat itu karena Facebook mengklaim bahwa rata-rata customer mereka bisa mendapatkan data points. Jadi kalau namanya nama itu satu data points, umur data points yang berikutnya. Nah, Facebook mengklaim bahwa rata-rata per orang, per pengguna Facebook, itu dia bisa mendapatkan 5.000 data points. Nah, itu disebut dengan big data, Bapak Ibu. Nah, kemudian big data tersebut diolah oleh Cambridge Analytica, sehingga akhirnya diidentifikasi cukup meng-approach 77.000 orang saja dari 230 juta. Nah, di mana 77.000 bisa didapatkan data bahwa 77.000 berpotensi untuk swing, untuk mengalihkan suara mereka dari kandidat B ke kandidat A. Nah, setelah memang diidentifikasi, kemudian Cambridge Analytica bersama dengan Facebook melancarkan kampanye, ya, di mana di Facebooknya dikirimin iklan dan lain-lain yang notabene kebanyakan isinya black campaigning sama kandidat yang satu lagi. Nah, singkat cerita, di bulan November 2016, Donald Trump terpilih menjadi Presiden Amerika Serikat yang ke-46. Jadi itu semua ada di film tersebut, ya, dan itu membuka mata saya betapa kekuatan dari big data dan AI bahkan bisa mengubah sejarah, ya, suatu negara. Nah, tentunya di sini saya ingin menekankan bahwa yang dilakukan oleh Cambridge Analytica Facebook itu diconsider tidak legal, jadi illegal dan unethical. Jadi saya ingin menekankan bahwa yang kami lakukan di sini tentunya kami ingin semua tetap dalam koridor legal dan ethical, Bapak Ibu. Nah, namun kembali lagi saya lihat AI dan big data itu sangat powerful dan mungkin ini relevan dengan yang kita alami saat ini. Jadi kalau misalnya dibilang bahwa COVID itu membuat segala sesuatu jadi susah, betul. Jadi income orang-orang turun, betul. Tapi mungkin tidak semua, Bapak Ibu. Karena di Indonesia ada fenomena menarik, Brontox itu dilaku, ya, dan harganya luar biasa mahal. Jadi sebetulnya yang fungsi, kalau menurut saya fungsi dari big data dan AI yang bisa membantu perusahaan Bapak Ibu adalah bagaimana Bapak Ibu bisa mengidentifikasi certain segmen dari customer, dari database Bapak Ibu. Jadi nggak semuanya, tapi sebagian saja yang Bapak Ibu bisa influence behavior-nya, darinya yang tadi nggak beli menjadi beli, yang tadinya belinya nanti jadi beli sekarang, yang tadinya beli satu menjadi beli dua, yang tadinya beli A jadi belinya A, B, C, D, dan seterusnya. Jadi itu menurut saya hal yang luar biasa menarik yang ingin kami bawakan di pagi hari. So Yonglin, I'll leave it back to you again.
Okay, thanks, Setiawan. Okay, let's carry on to the actual content, right? How can we leverage a breakthrough customer engagement model so that you can enhance and optimize your membership, reward, and loyalty systems? So you may think that, hey, this is a boring topic, right? Membership system, everyone have it, we have it. But, right, so this is what we learned from a lot of our customers. I think if you go through a lot of malls, a lot of retailers and so forth, this is not something new, right? A lot of people have memberships, but I think you think what you use or what other people use for memberships, you use for track your points. And after that, you say, hey, let's redeem these points, right? And you say, oh, I have some data from the members. Let's do campaigns. Let's have offer. But guess what? I think it's a common thing that I hear. They don't actually segment the campaigns. If I'm a member and Setiawan is a member, though we can belongs to different segments, we receive the same offer. We receive the same campaign, right? So is this an effective way to leverage on the membership systems? My take is no. There's a lot more improvement that you can have it so that then you can able to convert the consumer that you don't know or you know a little to someone that very intimate to you to become your customers. And the problem lies on the basic membership systems is that you doesn't know deep about the customers, right? You doesn't collect more data. And therefore, you are not able to optimize the campaign and outreach to them, to engage them. And of course, last but not least, they may not be loyal to you and they may be in when there is only a campaign or a discount that you are running. So take a step back. Let's look at what a proper optimized customer loyalty systems or programs are able to do. I think first and foremost, we have to realize that this program is actually not, is actually meant to incentivize repeat purchase, right? You want them to spend more and more and more and more, right? That's important. And second point is actually what I saw a lot of retailers actually fall under. It's actually used as a discount methods. So if you are my members, I give you 5% discounts and so forth. This is nothing bad, but I think beware of this. We have a customers in Singapore and they are running quite a big membership. They have a big memberships around in Singapore. The issues then is that when we go in to actually help them to optimize, what we found is that every single members there, or rather almost every single members there, is a losing money game for the retailer. The reason is that the kind of members that they're able to attract, unfortunately, are the cost-conscious middle-aged person. And there's nothing bad about middle-aged cost-conscious. It's the campaign or the package, the packaging of the system that they have from the retailer. So in this case, this group of members would only attract to you or come to your store when there is discounts and you're actually subsidizing your members from non-members, right? So that's a very serious way to look at this. And we need to look at things beyond a discount culture, right? So in this case, we can actually encourage your brand engagement towards your retail brand. And we focus on the ability to do segmentizations and also be able to target in person to you, right? So that's the key for that. And from, I talked a bit about AI and big data early on. Equally important is how we design this customer loyalty program or membership program. We need to apply certain forms of behavioral science, right? For example, in this example that we use Indonesia as an example, they are people who is trying to be smart. I think if you want your customers to do mental accounting, for example, rather than Indonesian rupiah 1,000 equals to 1 point, you say that, oh, 1205 IDR equals to 1 point. People will still need to track and do mental accounting. So that's very taxing. So that's not a good way to design that. You need to simplify your point. The other way to look at it is that we want to keep the customers to accumulate the points, right? And then there's a sink cost prison. There's a phenomenon in behavioral science whereby you say that, hey, I keep captive by this because I still have a lot of points to be spent. And of course, when you actually apply a smart way to let them spend the points by bundling or by other kind of mechanism, then they have to spend before they can spend the points. So those are the kind of easy concepts to grab, right, to get to begin with. And now I would like to introduce you with this 4A's model in customer engagement. And it's a output, right, from both ourselves and also MasterCard Asia Pacific, who is our customers, right? And this is called the 4A's. And what are the 4A's? Is the 4 words starting from A's, right? We start with acquisition, activation, acceleration, and awake. And I'll go through you one by one. First thing first, acquire. So everyone would argue that I want more customers. I want to acquire customers. So we need to define what does acquiring means. Are you acquiring a consumer that you don't know them? That's not too bad, but not good enough. You want to acquire them so that you know them, or you can address them and you can track them. So that's ideal, and that's what membership systems are all about. So you need to define what is your own acquisition, right? So that's step number 1. Is that the most important step? I'll argue that it's not, right? I'll argue that it's not. The most important step, according to MasterCard, is activation. Why is that so? And what's activation? So now you can see that it's a second step after acquisition, right? So activation simply means that you, by spending, buying, and engaging, it becomes a habit to you to deal with me, you as a retailer, right? So, and of course, depending on what you sell, right, and the markets that you are tackling, every single one of we have different activation points, right? So for example, for MasterCard is X number of transactions within 14 days after you have signed up for this particular payment mechanism, right? So, and to them is that you need to even incentivize this habit to be formed. Right now, they are not your activated customers, they may be buying elsewhere, they may be just randomly come to you, buy something and go off, right? They are not tied to you. So that's what we mean by consumer, right? Still a consumer, though you know them a bit. So now after you acquire them, that's a short period of time that you need to move them to incentivize. And that's actually a calculations that you need to make, as in how much do you invest to make sure that they are activated. Of course, we have segmentation strategy and say that, yeah, this group is behaved like that, and therefore this is how much I'll spend to make sure that they become activated, right? So that's the second step, activate. And what is accelerate? Accelerate basically is that now this is activated. I am habitually engaged with you. I'm habitually buying from you in this short period. And from a retailer standpoint, you want them now, before then, you may spend 3 times in 14 days. Now I want you to spend 4 times in 14 days, and so on and so forth. So that you keep, and what good things about in the stage of accelerate is that since it's become a habit, you doesn't need to incentivize the spending so much, right? Let them come to you, and of course there will be certain things that valuable to them that you can apply in accelerate stage so that they can come, keep coming back to you. So acquire, activate, accelerate is all good. But I think there's another situation that's basically a fact of life. What if this habit of coming to you, engaging with you, and buying from you breaks? Is very likely, right? COVID could potentially be one thing. This person going out for countries for a long time and come back could be one thing. And there could be many other scenarios that the cycle or the habit being break. They may no longer engage with you. They may no longer buy from you. So you have to, so this is what a stage that we call it sleeping. So once you are sleeping, you can actually awake them, right? Giving the right offers, giving the right discount so that they will be awake and continue to come through the cycle of activate and accelerate. So the benefits is that you have a lot more customer loyalty, and you know your customers better. And of course, through that end, you can do a lot more targeted customers marketing. Satyawan, you have anything to add?
Jadi Bapak Ibu, sebetulnya yang kami coba lakukan di sini adalah mensimplify atau menstructure dari membership program yang Bapak Ibu mungkin sudah miliki. Jadi di sini Bapak Ibu mungkin bisa melihat saat ini mungkin ada room of improvement di acquisitions atau di jadi butuh member lebih banyak lagi, atau di activations jumlah member udah banyak tapi yang aktif atau bertransaksi rutin sedikit, atau dua-duanya udah oke, tapi butuh accelerations, jadi memang pengen increase basket size dari belanja sekali seminggu menjadi 2 kali seminggu, dari belanja 2 item menjadi 3-4 item, itu masuk accelerate, atau dalam database Bapak Ibu itu ada fenomena bahwa ada cukup banyak yang sudah aktif, sudah transaksi, sudah bagus, tapi terus mendadak berhenti, sehingga perlu dibangunkan lagi. Jadi platform ini atau sistem ini kami desain untuk memudahkan Bapak Ibu untuk menganalisa ya, di area mana yang harus dilakukan improvement. Back to you, Yokli.
Thanks. Yeah. So and the next thing is we will need to look at your customer segmentation. This is pretty simple way to look at it, right? I think self-explanatory. You can look at it from the values, the sales value that you contribute, activeness, and so forth. And you can look at it from different angles. For example, you can look at your customer segmentation, not just from purchase history, but actually from where they are from, right? So the external factor, are they coming from this area, and so that their spending power is more? Or you can look at it from internal perspective. Which type of products do they like, right? From a product perspective, or from a buying behavior, what are the products that they have bought in the past? So I'll give you some more example in a short while. But before that, it is all about combining AI, big data analytics, and behavioral science. AI and big data analytics will help with the 4 I's on the left, and behavioral science coupled with AI and big data will help the 4 A's on the right. Right, let me get started with identification. So once you get all the data in, you start to form certain patterns, right? So this group of customers, they are certain, they exhibit certain patterns demographically and also behaviorally, right? And you integrate all the data that you have, like I mentioned, from internal, from external, and from structured and unstructured. So once you have that settled, no matter there's a new customers coming in, you can quickly identify them. Hey, this person likely to exhibit such a behavior, and therefore you can start to provision them with the right methods, engage, right, or nudge. And once we put it in the segment, then it's all about investigating the customer's value. So now they can go through the cycle of, okay, this person start buying and they buy this type of products, and therefore the lifetime customer value of this customer is X, and how much you as a retailer would like to spend in terms of activating them, right? So you can start doing the investigation, and you can do a reverse engineering, which what we call as imitate, right? To find the hidden rules of these patterns, right? And be able to automate that as part of the entire AI process. And now, once you have that, it's all talking about assignment, right? How you actually assign them to go through the journey of acquisition. More importantly, as I mentioned, activation, and how do you accelerate the kind of engagement as well as spending from the consumer, and touch wood, if they are actually fall asleep, what are the best way to awake them so that then they come back to the cycle again. So that's what we call a customer 360 workflow. And this is the example that I want to use earlier, right? From left to right, first step is we identify the customers by the purchase behavior. For example, this person buying 3 products on the past weeks, right? And this belongs to the group of working mom, right? And this person actually purchased from the store in the rural area, and there's only one store around, right? And you also know that besides going to the mall herself, she's also browsing online on your web, right? So that's the multi-channel approach, and you can get data in a multi-channel way. In the old days, if they are not signing up as a member, the challenge is that you can't even identify them when they approach you in the store, right? Now you can. Next off is the 4 I's, right? We'll then first identify the potential features to find the customer valuation. Okay, 3 products. What 3 products, right? Okay, you are working moms, and therefore we can actually project your spending power. And because we actually integrate with all other systems, right? And we investigate your value, we actually predict your interests and needs, right? Working mom, what do you need? And then we find some hidden rules and patterns among the data. So that's the predict. And now we need to start to get it to work, to get the predictions to work. That's what we call influence. The influence then, depending on the basket that they are in, it can be, if they are not in yet, acquire them. If they are they in the stage of activation? How to activate them is that you yourself as a retailer or with your partner, with a discount coupon or with a purchase on purchase voucher, and how easy for you to configure an electronic voucher. So those are the questions that you may have to figure out. That's activation, and of course we want you to we want the members to spend more in a bundle, so that then it's not just selling about the discounted product, but also bundle is something that valuable to you as a retailer, the higher margin product. And the other way to look at it is the awake, right? And how, if people fall asleep, how can you awake them? So there's 3 ways. If you think about it, there's 3 ways for you to get this done, all by AI and big data. So this on a regular fashion, we put it 3 R's, though I prefer the first R to become an N, right? A nudge. Though right now the word is retention, right? Nudge is something free, right? But you have to apply a right nudge. And it's a very good behavioral technique, and therefore someone, because of the book Nudge, right now he got a economics Nobel Prize, right? So it's a very important way for us to drive people to have certain behavior, and it is free as long as you do it right. So that's the first step, right? Right context, right time, right place, nudge them. What's the message and how? Next is a reward, right? We have to understand that people are different. And let's say tier 1 is very high class and I am very cheapskate. And to me, if you are Starbucks, you offer me buy 10 free 1, I will take it. I will take it, right? And but tier 1 as a high class person, buy 10 free 1, no. But if you tell tier 1, buy 10 free 1 limited edition of cup from Starbucks, you will take it. So you have to give the right rewards to the right people, right? So that then it's very targeted to them. And of course, recommendation, because of the groups that you are exhibiting the similar behavior, and therefore we can recommend the right things to you. So retention or nudge, reward, and recommend. So that's how we engage the customers through AI and through behavioral science. Some more examples. So one key thing is, if you make your membership as a very boring item, then is I collect this and I can redeem this and that's it. Imagine you'll be immune to the effect. What if you actually apply gamifications to your loyalty program? That will become something different. And you offer a variety of values, not just, again, like I said, redeem price. You allow them to have various ways of getting value out of the membership. That's extremely important. Now I would like to share another customer of us. Is someone that we deliver in China, and therefore in the left-hand side, you'll see some Chinese word. It's actually the U brand, if I may, Uniqlo, right? So to them, I think we have delivered using AI and big data and behavioral science, something that they are very proud of, right? So that's is a gamified loyalty program that delivers the moment of surprises, right? And that's important because if you know that I do this, I do X, I'll get Y, I think that's good. And that's next 1 or 2 slides later. That's important. But again, that's to some extent boring, but you have something that is of a surprise. Now, if you do this, you may get 0, you may get 100, you may get 50, you may get 20. So that's a way of randomness. And we sometimes don't even need to configure this in this way. You can configure it by time. Oh, today we just launched this and it's only valid for today. So those are the moments of surprise, coupled with things that people can view it regularly. And then you have the fan-based engagement. So it's no longer just customers, but they are your fans, right? And activation can also be gamified, right? So if let's say you want to apply that again, the random rewards could be good. So what we want to do is that we want to always help our customers to have this. That can also be the engagement. So how do you define engagement? Is that there could be certain competitions and things that you run over in your platform or your social media platform. That is something that you can equals to some points, and that's could be fitting in as the reward as well, right? So that's the behavior that you want continuous engagement beyond just buying. And right now, as I mentioned earlier on, when you accumulate all these points, people will actually have it's become your prison. So they are the prisoner of your retail business, right? And they will not be able to come out from it easily. And of course, again, that's depending on the model that you're operating, the margin that you want to get. So everything comes down to the cost. So you have to calculate, if you want to offer this, what is the cost and how easy can you do this calculation done when you do the offer? I think it's the questions. Systems are able to handle that, for example, right? Last but not least, this is gamified customer experience, right? It's always associate the incentive towards a micro journey, a short journey, and then you can see your progress, and people will like that. So that's a form of gamifications applying towards the entire customer journey. As you can see, start from 25, and then you can go to 50, and then things can get accelerated. So that's a form of gamifications live in actions. Setiawan, you have anything to add?
Yes, thanks Yoklin. So Bapak Ibu, kalau ini ada beberapa contoh memang yang sudah dilakukan, tapi kalau Bapak Ibu lihat benang merahnya, it's all about understanding the customers. Karena ini saya bicara dari pengalaman pribadi, gitu ya, saya banyak sekali download apps, gitu ya, membership dari A, dari B, dari C, which is simple karena itu kan gratis ya Bapak Ibu ya. Tapi in the day akhirnya saya banyak sekali mute notifikasinya karena saya merasa bahwa informasi yang sering di-post atau notifikasi yang diberikan itu nggak relate ke saya gitu jadinya. Jadi akhirnya buat saya itu jadi semacam spam gitu Bapak Ibu. Nah justru yang kita ingin lakukan saat ini adalah membantu Bapak Ibu untuk memahami customer dari Bapak Ibu yang Bapak Ibu bidik, sehingga akhirnya bisa mempredik dan juga menginfluence behavior ke arah yang Bapak Ibu inginkan. Nah itu yang membedakan kalau saya lihat yang saat ini masih ada gap dengan banyak sekali program-program membership yang ada di pasar saat ini. Back to you, Yoklin.
Thanks. This is the last slides, I guess. Right. I think just to summarize, we started off with sharing with everybody. Right. Right now, I think a lot of the retailers are having a lot of consumers. You know them a bit, you may not know them, and how do you transit them from customers is not only for your consumer to sign up as membership. That's them through the 4 stages. Right. The other 3 stages basically is how do you activate them, make them behaviorally come and spend money when they think of your type of products, right? And then you can actually accelerate the spending and how targeted it is for the campaigns and promotions towards them, and how do you get the bundles together so that then you don't lose money for this. That's important. And last but not least, awake, right? Touch wood, if they are actually sleeping, how do you make them awake and go back to the chain again? And I'm happy to share that we have the experience, and Setiawan and I is ready are here to help, right? So thanks a lot for your attention. I think we have the part 2 of this webinar, which is a panel discussion. Before that, I'll pass the call back to Nisi.
So thanks a lot, Yoling and Setiawan, for sharing the insightful presentation. So next, we are moving on to the panel's discussion. So I would like to invite Mr. Badley, the Managing Director of Skyworks, to proceed to the panel discussion by asking Yoling and Setiawan a few questions. So Badley, I'll pass the floor to you.
Okay. Thank you, Messi. Thank you, Setiawan. Thank you, Yoling. Good afternoon, everyone. Selamat siang, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Mungkin untuk sambil menunggu Bapak Ibu kalau ada pertanyaan yang ingin disampaikan kepada Pak Yoling dan Pak Setiawan, mungkin saya ada beberapa pertanyaan, ya. Very insightful presentation, Yoling and Setiawan. Even for me, I got a lot of insight and a lot of ideas after following your presentation. So actually, I got several questions, Yoling and Setiawan. Is do I need to be very big, yeah, before I should consider new retail? Apakah perusahaan saya perlu demikian besar, perlu menjadi begitu besar untuk menjalankan new retail? What do you think, Yoling?
Okay, thanks, Pak Badley. Yeah, I think to me, it doesn't need to be very big. It doesn't need to be like Uniqlo. It doesn't need to be like MasterCard and so forth. You do need to have certain size though. So if let's say you have 1 shop, 2 shop, I would encourage you to grow bigger. I would encourage you to think of what we call the concept of O2O, right? Online to offline, and or vice versa. Have an online presence, have other presence in social media, live streaming. You can experience this, but in order to have good benefits to ramp on new retail, applying big data AI, I believe you need to have certain size. I think I know Indonesian 50 store considered small, but it's actually up to individual organizations. So I think anything beyond 5 store, you can start to consider that, but maybe you can actually test drive with some of the vendors. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's about 5 stores. Yeah. Yeah. Because during the presentation, you know your example is about the MasterCard, and the big boys in there. So I just want to confirm about that. Thank you. And the second question, yeah. Yes. What if I do have a basic membership system? Yeah. Already have a membership system. And what should I do first? Maybe do you have any answer on that, Yoling or Setiawan?
Sure.
I think for me, I think Yoling please to add. I think AI or big data or any other tools in general will work well if it's aligned with business goals and objectives. So to be precise, if it can solve a particular problem that business are facing. So every business is different. Setiap business kan beda, Bapak Ibu ya. So I think we must start by understanding what is your biggest problem aside from COVID, gitu ya. Karena banyak yang bilang bahwa ini COVID jadi banyak problem muncul. Yes, pasti ada problem yang muncul dari COVID. Tapi saya pribadi percaya bahwa yang dilakukan COVID ini atau pandemik ini adalah problemnya itu sebenarnya udah ada dari sebelumnya. Tapi mungkin sebelumnya karena kita terlalu asik di day to day jadi nggak sadar Bapak Ibu. Dan karena ada COVID ini membuat kita jadi step back, jadi akhirnya problemnya jadi kelihatan. So actually apapun yang memang nanti Bapak Ibu lakukan, I think mesti start dari what is your biggest problem aside from COVID. The second question adalah what does your customer wants or needs from you, and what is your objectives, goals, and aspirations. Jadi kalau misalnya AI dan big data itu akan berhasil kalau bisa menjawab 3 pertanyaan itu. So Yoling, perhaps you have other answers as well.
Yeah, I think what Setiawan mentioned is actually pretty correct. So I think start from understanding or consulting of what is the biggest problem. I think that's roughly what my thought is. So that's something that you can start, and then after that, whether you want to venture down into optimize your membership, or you may think that right now because of COVID, let's example. right? Syncage is your problem. It's the biggest problem because you lose a lot of money over there. Yeah, that would be something that you should start first. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Yokling and Setiawan. And I have, the third question. Besides membership optimization, what else can I do to turn consumers into customers? What do you think, Yokling or Setiawan?
This is a tough question.
Yeah.
So there are a few ways you can turn consumer into customers. But first thing first,
sorry, maybe first, could you please explain what in your mind, what's the difference between the consumer and the customers? What do you what's the difference according to your ideas? Yeah.
So consumer is someone that come and spend money with you, right? They buy things from you, but you may or may not know them, right? Potentially you don't know them, as in you don't even know that this guy buy a secret and go off, right? So it's a consumer, and there's potential that you know them, right? By, let's say, the name or a customer ID, but you don't know them well. You can't address them, and you don't know what they will going to spend next, and so those are a lot of questions you can't answer. You only know basic things about this person, so that's your consumer. Customer is something different. Customer, so let's think our old way. Let's not talk about AI, big data. In the old ways, in Kedai Runcit, the mom and pop shop, we go in. I think we know the boss very well, right? Hey, boss. So you know that this person come in, you know he's going to buy a Marlboro cigarette, right? And you know that he's going to pay by cash, and you know that this customer has a 2-year-old kid and has a wife that stays nearby. So those are the things that you know, and you can start checking with him. Hey, how's your wife? How's your 2-year-old kid? Do you want to buy some food or snack for your 2-year-old kid? So that's the old days, right? How can we transform that using big data AI at scale at your store? That's consumer.
Okay. Ya, mungkin saya menambahkan. Jadi I came from banking industry, ya Bapak Ibu. Jadi di banking kita sebutnya customer karena banking memiliki customer data seperti nama pihak bank kan tahu ya Bu ya, nasabahnya namanya siapa, umurnya, alamatnya, nomor teleponnya, dan yang paling penting transaksinya, taruh uang berapa, minjem uang berapa, dan lain-lain. Jadi similar to di airline industry juga sama. Jadi di situ yang tadi seperti tadi Yokling katakan ada customer segmentation, itu udah otomatis terjadi di dunia perbankan dan airlines. Di perbankan kita credit card ada yang namanya silver card, gold card, platinum card, gitu ya. Di banking industry ada retail banking, ada prioritas. Di airlines ada ekonomi, ada bisnis, ada first class, gitu ya. Retail menurut saya dalam hal data by nature one step behind banking sama airlines, karena pembeli yang masuk by nature kita nggak tahu namanya siapa, kemudian dia punya duit berapa, dia juga biasa belanja di mana. Nah, gap ini yang pertama-tama kita pengen address dulu, Bapak Ibu, bagaimana bisa mendapatkan more data points sehingga Bapak Ibu bisa melakukan analisa lebih baik lagi untuk memastikan bahwa dari consumer menjadi customer, dan nggak hanya customer menjadi customer yang loyal, yang beli lagi, dan beli lagi.
Okay, thank you Yokling, thank you Setiawan. And the fourth question pertanyaan keempat. For the implementation of big data, of course, there is a certain investment, ada investasi yang timbul. So my question is, what is the expected return of investment for new retail? Maybe you can share, Yokling or Setiawan.
Sure. Based on my experience, I think they are. When you want to apply it for new retail, I assume you want to typically AI and big data or even behavioral science. You have to expect, right? You want to increase revenue, or you want to reduce the risk or reduce the operation costs. So I'll assume the questions are more directed to how much of revenue you are going to be able to increase. Applying optimized campaign, applying the optimizations on the membership and so forth, like what today we have discussed, based on what we have observed in different industries, retail included, is somewhere between 50% to 300%. So that is the gauge that you can have. Of course, there will be certain minimum viable investment. Otherwise, things couldn't get started. But I think this is what we can see, that after you invest into that, you need to spend some time to understand it. The vendor, for example, like us, will be able to help you in the journey. And that's the kind of ROI that you can expect.
Maybe Setiawan, do you want to add something? Mau nambahkan? Ya.
Mungkin saya menambahkan, selain ROI, matriks yang juga sering digunakan adalah BEP, break-even period. Tentunya dari pengalaman saya, setiap company memiliki standar yang berbeda-beda. Jadi itu harusnya start dari datang si company sendiri. Tapi in general, BEP di bawah 2 tahun itu masih consider acceptable.
Okay, thank you. So the last question for this session, Yokling. We are badly impacted by COVID-19. So what is the advice can you give to us, to cope with this situation? Maybe Yokling or Setiawan.
Very timely. Maybe I start first. I think we have been talking to the retailers, the bankers, the insurers, even during COVID, and I think now we can classify that this period still under COVID. Is all hit by different issues. I think sales down is number one, whether you can sell. And for those that without online presence, I think that's pretty tough, especially for a retailer. But some that have online to offline mechanism, I think it's a bit more better. And therefore, I think this is the right time to look at two aspects. If I can segmentize my prospect and customers. One that really quite bad, I think that's like very minimum percentage, as in they don't know whether they can survive. And let's not talk about improvement, it's about survival. I think that's the other category. But one that I think they are profitable in the past, they do some right things. And right now, sales certainly drop, and they do have a basket of cash in hand to do something. If you fall under that particular basket, I would strongly encourage you to look at how can you prepare while it's a bit late yourself to tide over the next situations. Digitizations, applying AI. If you don't have an online mechanism, go through that online mechanism, build an ecosystem around your business. And so that would be something that I believe is a viable options for you at this point in time.
Setiawan, do you want to add something? Mau nambahkan sesuatu, Setiawan?
Yes, so I think every business is different. So it depends on, I think it's almost every struggling because of COVID. So if the business are cash flow negative, and I think the options is very limited. Tapi Bapak Ibu, kalau misalnya masih cash flow positif, ada memang beberapa customer yang saya bicara, so this is actually opportunity to like regroup or invest. Jadi saya sempat ngobrol dengan beberapa hotel, ya akhirnya mereka memutuskan jadi titik ini sebetulnya kesempatan yang baik untuk renovasi, for example. Karena kalau pas lagi traffic juga lagi penuh, mereka juga selalu sayang untuk renovasi. Ya saat ini akhirnya mereka lihat jadi silver lining-nya, this is good time to do a renovation. So actually, it's every business is different. Saya tidak bisa memberikan satu jawaban yang pasti untuk semuanya. But yes, this is challenging for everybody.
Yes. Thank you, Setiawan. Mungkin Bapak Ibu sekalian ada yang ingin ditanyakan? Silahkan. Mungkin dalam bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris. Silahkan.
You can actually type in the chat.
Yeah, I can see that so far there's no questions that has been posted. So I think it's about the time now. It's 4 p.m. now, so maybe we can move forward. So in case you have any questions or you would like to understand more on how we help your organization specifically, you can contact either of this contacts here. You can also take the screenshot if you are interested. So you can contact to Setiawan from the Future Products group, or you can contact Yokling or Johan from Business Development Team of Human. So I hope you guys find it helpful and insightful. This is the end of the webinar. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.